not taking anything out of the freezer. However, I do want to get a head start on thawing out these chickens because sometime later this week I am going to be making roasted chicken. So I'm going to take out both of these chickens and I'm going to put them in the refrigerator and I'm going to let them thaw out completely, and you'll see probably tomorrow what I do with them after that to prep them for dinner probably on Thursday. What I am going to take out is this 2-pound chub, and we are going to be making lasagna soup. On New Year's Eve, I made a lasagna and I topped it with an Alfredo sauce, and ever since then I have been craving it again. But because I already did lasagna, I figured we could do something a little different, switch it up, we could do lasagna soup. I'm going to start off with a 2-pound chub of ground beef. This is 85/15. I am going to cook the whole thing, but I'm only going to keep half of it and store the rest for another recipe another time. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in my onions, some dried minced garlic. I would use fresh, but I don't have any. And we're going to season this meat with some salt, pepper. I'm going to turn this on low because I don't want my meat and everything to start burning. Garlic powder for a little bit more garlicky flavor. Onion powder, going to add some more flavor. And Italian seasoning. Probably a good 2 cups of water. I'm going to do 2 of these. I'm going to turn it back up to high. And I'm going to put the lid on it and let it come up to a boil. What are you doing, Emily?
I'm trying to see how big of a foil I need by measuring it.
You're measuring it out to see how much foil you need?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get too big of a piece and waste it.
Oh, okay. So as far as pasta goes, you can use anything you want. I preferred using the bow tie pasta. That's our favorite noodle. It just looks cute and it resembles like a lasagna shape. Or you can actually use lasagna noodles and you could just cut them into thirds. That works really well too. But while I was at the store yesterday, I found these 2 types of pasta. This is the Campanelle Artisan Pasta. I got it from Stater Brothers. And then this one is Pacetti. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, but these ones are like a blown up rigatoni. But I'm gonna let Emily tell me which one she wants. You want the more fun flower-like shaped ones, or you want the big fat ones?
The flour-like.
The flower-like ones? Okay, we're gonna go with these ones. The directions say that you need a gallon of water and about a tablespoon of coarse sea salt. I think I'm not going to use the entire thing. I'm probably only going to use about half of it. And like I said, this is more of like a soup, so you don't really need a whole lot of noodles anyway. I'm going to salt my water because I know we already seasoned the meat, but you want the pasta itself to get seasoned as well. And let's see, how much do you think I could fit in here? Probably about that much. Honestly, I should have just used the entire package because there was none left over for my husband to take lunch the next day. And I could have used the extra starch from those noodles. And it says to let it boil for 8 to 9 minutes. So I am going to time this because I don't really do artisan pasta very often and I don't want it to overcook. While the pasta is cooking, we're going to go ahead and make our ricotta mixture. And what I love about this is that it doesn't require any eggs. I'm also going to use this Italian style 6-cheese blend. It has mozzarella, provolone, parmesan, Asiago, Fontina, and Romano cheeses. So I'm going to do a good handful of that. I'm also going to add in a little bit more Parmesan just because I'm a big Parmesan person and I love Parmesan. Some more of that Italian seasoning and a little bit of salt and pepper. I know that the cheese is salty enough, but I just want a little bit in there. We don't need too much anyway. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to mix this up. They look cute in there. They look like little horns. or flowers like calla lilies or something. They still have about 2 minutes left.
3, 2, 1, ding.
Okay, I already kind of looked at the noodle like 16 seconds ago and they are not done, so I am going to go ahead and give it the 1 more minute. And this time I am going to put the lid on just to trap in the heat. Okay, it's looking pretty good. They look a little fluffed out. They're probably just about ready. Now I have some Prego sauce, so I'm just going to use this up because it's what I have. And I'm probably going to put about, I don't know, like a cup in there. Does that look good, Emily?
Yeah.
Does it?
I already want to try it.
You want to try it already?
Yeah.
It's not quite ready yet, okay?
Okay.
Almost.
Almost.
That looks good. I'm also going to add in about a tablespoon of cream or 2 tablespoons of cream. And I want to give it a quick taste for some seasoning. It actually needs a little bit more salt. And I'm just going to go ahead and shut it off. I probably could have used a little bit less water because it's not as thick as I would like it to be, but it's going to be just fine. It tastes good. I think that the soup would have been a bit thicker if I had used actual lasagna noodles because it would have taken longer for the starches to cook down. But it still has really good flavor and it still tastes really good. Do you guys want cheese in your soup?
Yes.
Do you want Parmesan and mozzarella or just Parmesan?
Just Parmesan.
You want that one? Can you just put Parmesan in there?
Yes.
Is that good or one more? Emily gets first pick because she cooked it. Which one do you want? Careful, it's hot. I'm getting ready to make dinner for tonight, so I'm gonna grab my shrimp and I want to check on these chickens here. They're still frozen. Okay, they're gonna have to sit in there for another day. Onion, bell pepper, andouille sausage.
What's for chicken for dinner?
What's for dinner?
Yeah.
We're gonna have shrimp and sausage over rice.
It's good.
There's no proper name for it. I'm not really sure what it's called. Okay, so for tonight's dinner, we are gonna have something along the lines of a shrimp creole, jambalaya meets dirty rice kind of situation. Usually when I make my dirty rice or jambalaya, I usually buy the Zatarain's rice because it's just so much easier, but I don't have any. So we're gonna be making this from scratch. This is just another way to kind of clean out my refrigerator. So I have some leftover peas and corn that I'm gonna put in there. I have a bell pepper that I need to finish up. I pulled out my onion, but honestly I have a little bit of chopped onion from yesterday's dinner, although I'm not sure if that's enough, so I might have to chop up a little bit more onion. I have some leftover beans. These are black beans. I'm wondering if I should just use the white rice that we already have made. This is just regular white rice, but I seasoned it with that butter steakhouse seasoning. Other than that, I just have a can of tomato sauce, salt and pepper, garlic, dried minced garlic, Creole seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, and paprika. So I'm gonna start off by rinsing my shrimp and letting all of the juices drain. I'm probably not gonna take the shells off. I am allergic to the shells if I touch them with my hands, so I'm just gonna cook them with the tails on. so I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of oil in the bottom of my pan. I know this is a little odd, but I know when my oil is hot by the way that it flows on the pan. If it kind of like flows back and forth slowly, that means that the oil is still kind of cold. But if the oil falls on the pan pretty fast, then that means that it's gotten warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my onion. And I want my onion to cook for a minute or two before I add in my bell peppers. Then I'm gonna saute that for a minute or so. So I am gonna season my onions and bell peppers with some salt and pepper. Once that has had a minute to saute a little bit, I'm gonna add in my sausage, and I kind of want to give it a little bit of a sear. So this is gonna take a few minutes. Try not to move it around too much, just let it sit and do its thing. I made a pot roast on Sunday, so this is the drippings from my pot roast. I don't like throwing any of that stuff away because it adds so much flavor, especially if you don't have a stock. And since I'm going to be putting all kinds of other seasonings in here, I don't want to have to put any chicken bouillon. So I think that's going to help give it some richness, and it's also going to thicken up the sauce a little bit. I'm also going to add in a can of tomato sauce, and I'm going to add in all of my seasoning. I'm going to let this come up to a simmer, and then we're going to add our shrimp. I'm going to go ahead and add my shrimp into this, and we're just going to continue cooking this until the shrimp is done. Okay, so it's pretty much done. The shrimp is all cooked, and you know it's cooked when it's pink and they're all curled up. As for the rice, all I did was add some butter to my pan to keep my rice from sticking. I warmed it up, and then I added in my peas, my corn, and my black beans. So you guys like it?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
The sausage.
The sausage?
The shrimp.
The shrimp? What about you? The shrimp? You could probably just mix it all together in one pot, and it would be fine just like that. And it's pretty much what I just did. So I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't feeling confident in myself at all, but it all got eaten. It was really good. I would definitely make this again and just serve it with white rice. Okay, so I'm gonna check out my chicken, see how it's doing. Oh, it's almost there. I'm gonna take them out of the refrigerator because I am gonna be cutting these backbones off. And I'm also going to be taking out, where is it? This beef chuck, thinly sliced steak. Okay, so before I get started on tonight's dinner, I want to prep tomorrow's dinner. And I'm going to spatchcock these chickens and season them. And then we're gonna dry brine them in the refrigerator overnight. This is going to help the chicken skin get more crispy. All I'm doing is using a knife to take the backbone off of my chickens. You could also use kitchen shears if it's easier for you, but I want my chickens to lay flat. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Hey, I got gypped. This one's missing a wing. Wow. Whenever I make spatchcock chicken, I always keep the backs and I make a broth or a stock with them. I love having stuff like that on hand. Okay, so I'm gonna use this seasoning called roast chicken with garlic and herbs. I've already used it one time and it smells so good and the flavor is so amazing. So I'm just going to like generously season these chickens. Oh man, I wish that you could smell this. But if you have this season, you know exactly how it smells. It smells so good. So I'm gonna season it pretty well with paprika too. It doesn't really give it much flavor. It's just more for the skin to look really pretty and golden brown. This is for tomorrow's dinner. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's gonna be delicious, huh?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Emily. Show them your picture. Valentine's Day. Aww. Is that, what's his name?
Pichu.
Pikachu. Yeah. That's really cute, Emily. Thanks for sharing. And that's it. So we're just gonna throw this in the refrigerator and it's gonna stay in there overnight, uncovered, until tomorrow night when we cook dinner. This smells so good already. I swear it smells so good. Okay, so what's for dinner tonight is a cross between Mongolian beef and teriyaki beef. And I'm going to cut them into little strips. I'm using flour to coat or dredge my steak strips, but honestly, cornstarch would work so much better. It would give it a much more crispier outer layer. The flour works and it helps thicken up the sauce, and it's all that I had, so that's why I used it. But the problem is that once it sits, after you take it out of the pan, it can tend to get a little gummy. So to avoid that from happening, you probably want to take them out of the pan and lay them out evenly on a sheet tray in between batches. I'm going to use some of this cooking oil because it's a stir-fry oil that's infused with garlic, onion, and herbs. It's also for high heat. I just thought it would add a little bit of extra flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the heat down to medium, and I'm gonna add a little bit of water to deglaze the pan. And the leftover flour bit that's in here is going to thicken up our sauce. To this, I'm gonna add in about 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce. This is reduced sodium. I'm just using the last of what I have. And then I'm going to add a little bit of regular soy sauce. A splash of rice vinegar. About 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar. Oh, it is already smelling so good. Got some garlic powder. Some ginger. If you had fresh ginger, that would even be better, but I rarely ever buy fresh ginger because I don't make Chinese food very often. Some sesame seeds. I thought I had some sesame oil, but I don't. I must have gotten rid of it when I cleaned out my pantry, so sesame seeds it is. Some minced garlic. And some red pepper flakes. Not a lot because my kids can't handle too much spicy. Just a little bit. And we just want this to reduce a little bit. It shouldn't take too long. And it's going to thicken up a little bit because of the flour. So once it starts to thicken up, we can add our meat back into the sauce. We've had her for about a year. Did anybody order Mongolian beef?
Yeah. Thank you for my order.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
I got a big piece.
Looks like an octopus on your plate.
Yeah.
So it's been about 24 hours since we put our chicken in here to rest overnight. So I want to take a look at it and see what it's doing. The last time I did this, it looked a lot more drier. So I'm wondering if maybe I just didn't dry it out enough. I decided to transfer them over to another sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and then I flipped them over and patted them dry with some paper towels, and then I just seasoned them on the back side a little bit more with some olive oil and some more of that roasted chicken seasoning. I do want to add a little bit of oil to this chicken so that the skin gets pretty crispy and to keep it from drying out. And I'm also going to preheat my oven to 350. Okay, so that chicken is going to bake at 350 for roughly an hour. I don't really put a time to it. I just go based on how it smells. So meanwhile, we're going to start prepping our vegetables. So for my veggies, I am going to peel and chop 1 carrot because me and my husband are basically the only ones that eat it. A zucchini, and then some potato, and I have some asparagus. I'm going to season them with some fine sea salt, black pepper, and some paprika. This is my secret weapon to getting really dark roasted potatoes, so it gives it a good color. Okay. And I'm just going to arrange them on my sheet pan. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with my other veggies. Smelling good so far. You're so funny. Is it done?
Yeah.
They're done?
Mm.
Okay.
They're done. Multiple people.
This chicken is juicy.
It's juicy?
It is.
Yay. Everybody happy?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about that girl?
Good.
Good stuff?
Yeah.
What's your favorite part?
The chicken.
The chicken?
Yeah.
What about you? The chicken and the potatoes? Okay, so it's Friday and I did not pull anything out of the freezer because I figured we could do leftovers. But they can't be just like leftovers. They have to be like leftover transformations. So I'm gonna go in my refrigerator and look and see what we have left because we do have a few things. I have some leftover veggies from last night, also some roasted chicken, and I still have some of that ricotta mixture left over. Actually, I'm thinking that the meat, the ground beef, I'm gonna throw this in my freezer and I'm gonna save this for another time. I also have this pasta. This is the Pacetti artisan pasta. They're really, really wide noodles. So I'm thinking I can make an Alfredo sauce and we can serve it with some roasted chicken and some leftover veggies with buttered pacetti, and then I can even put like a dollop of the ricotta cheese on top. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get my pasta pot to a boil. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go ahead and cut my chicken off the bone. Into this pan, I have about 1.5 tablespoons of margarine. You could use butter or olive oil. And I'm gonna add in my onion and let them saute. Okay, I'm gonna season my onions with salt and pepper. Got about 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. I need that to kind of melt down a little. While that's doing that, my water is boiling, so I'm gonna add in my salt. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my heavy cream. I'm only gonna use about 1/2 cup worth. It's only been simmering for like a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna add a splash of milk in there to thin it out just a little bit. And I'm gonna add in my seasonings, which I'm gonna do some salt, some garlic powder. Fresh garlic would be really good in this as well. But I like the taste of garlic powder. A tiny bit of nutmeg. If you had fresh, it'd be better, but all I have is a little bit of ground dried nutmeg and some lemon pepper. Fresh lemon juice would be really good in this as well, or lemon zest. If my kids liked Alfredo sauce, I would just put this chicken right in there. But since they don't, I have some leftover drippings from the roast yesterday mixed in with some chicken broth that I made using the neck bones. I'm gonna pour some in there. Yes, some of the fat did fall in, but that's okay. It's gonna give it some flavor. I'm gonna microwave this for like 2.5 minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna put a plate on it to lock in the steam so it stays warm. I'm gonna take some of this water and I'm gonna put it in here. and let it simmer. I turned it off because it was scalding and I didn't want it to burn. So I turned it back on and I'm gonna let this come back up to a simmer and thicken back up again. So it's been 16 minutes and I don't think that the pasta is done. It's still pretty al dente. Al dente? I think that's how you say that. So I'm gonna let it go for the other 2 minutes. Okay, it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it. So I'm gonna move this over. This is done actually. I'm gonna shut it off. Put the lid on it. And to this pan, I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of margarine. Butter is good too, but I only have margarine right now. Plus, margarine is oil-based, and usually when I do this, I use real butter and olive oil. Since I'm running out of olive oil, this kills 2 birds with 1 stone, so margarine it is. This right here is just mushrooms that I am sauteing in water. Just for myself, because no one here in my house likes it other than me. Okay, I'm gonna add in my pasta. And this is an interesting mix. This is actually like 3 different seasonings in one, but it's mainly like a lemon pepper, garlic parmesan seasoning. So I'm gonna toss that to coat. And I have some real Parmesan cheese that I'm going to add to this as well. I am going to add just a splash of this sauce in there, but not a whole lot, just a little bit. And that's pretty much it. So let's serve it up. Them like 5 pieces each. Oh, that's good. Alrighty guys, well that was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed myself creating those meals and this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really did try to eliminate food waste. So I had some leftover white rice and I made some rice balls or arancini. I don't know how it's pronounced. And I also made some more of those potato patties for my kids over the weekend and they really loved those. So if you want to see the recipe for the rice balls, I have my Sunday reset coming up in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that video if you're into videos like that. I definitely want to try and do more videos like this at least once a month, maybe 2 times a month, just depending on how busy I am. But it would be great to do something like right after I go grocery shopping and like at the very end of the month when I am shopping just in my pantry, whatever I have left over from that shopping haul. So I'm going to try to add that into my rotation of videos. That is going to end today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and my kids today. I love you guys so much. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.